Okay. How many of you have some problems? Raise your hand. I just want to make sure. Okay, good. Good, great. How many? It's always good to ask. Don't assume. Okay. How many of you have some problems that have been hanging around for a while? They're not new problems. They've been around for more than a day, right? They've been here for a minute. Okay, I'm just checking. Okay, great. So here's the thing. If you want to solve a problem, create a crisis. I'm going to say that again. If you want to solve a problem, create a crisis. Now, when I say create a crisis, I don't mean to inherit a crisis. You know, you can inherit a crisis called, like, mother-in-law. Okay? You can inherit a crisis called new business or new boss. You can inherit a lot of people's mess. That's not what I'm speaking about. Okay? I'm speaking about creating a crisis that is so compelling, so seductive, it pulls you into action. It inspires you. It makes you so happy that what felt like work before feels like a privilege. Okay? That's a created crisis. And it, again, if we we don't have the time with the brain science like that, the stuff that we're working on. And if you're interested in working with me more, there's an opportunity. I'm going to be doing this work on a teleconference on November 9th. And I gave you a sheet about that. So if you're interested in that, please register for it at the end of our time together. It's a $27 90-minute seminar where I'm going to get into this so you can do this for yourself. I can't get it all here.
You said November 9th. Today's November 9th.
Ignore me. November 29th. Love you. I'm so happy people are kind, right? November 29th. Again, I just don't have the time to really serve you the way I want to, so I'm really making that available to you, okay? But in terms of this, it's so cool, y'all. Like, if you have a creative crisis, it will solve all your problems. I will give you a concrete example. My mother, the one I mentioned, Mama, okay? I was at Stanford, and I felt like the biggest fraud because I was afraid they would find out how stupid I am. Okay? How many of y'all have that fraud syndrome? You're afraid people are going to find out they made a mistake. You really ain't as smart or cute or whatever, right? Like, oh, damn. You know, they're going to find out. So I kind of coasted through Stanford hoping no one found out until the dissertation. At that point, you got to do or die. You got to do something. You can't just be quiet and maneuver. And nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. No writing, no research, nothing. So I created the crises. Mama and Nana, Miss Francis, she took me in, and I call her Nana. Mama and Nana would both walk me across the stage for graduation. Now, if you recall, me and Mama's relationship was not the best. But the truth was, I wanted her to be proud of me. That no matter what happened, no matter any of the negativity, I wanted her to be there and know that her life mattered. And I wanted her to know that I loved her. And I wanted her to know that I knew she loved me, no matter what. Now, it's been, 13 years? There's no phone number. It didn't go well the last time we tried to connect. But it was worth my life because I wanted her to know that her life mattered. So, from there, everything became quite easy. I created 8-hour work days where I would write for 8 hours. I had people come and read my materials, and I got my dissertation written in 3 months. And it took 6 months for the revisions. It didn't matter. Because what mattered was I now had the opportunity to make the impossible action, which was calling her. You know how your tummy starts doing the tummy things and you're parked through the things and it's like the whole survival comes back and you can't really think and talk? That's how I felt before I dialed the number. So I'm pushing the buttons. And I put the phone to my ear. And I'm trying to breathe and it's not going well. So I just try. Hello? Hi, Mama. What do you want? Bad choice, Venus. Bad choice. I'm like, why did I even do this? What was I thinking? And you know when you have that everything in you that took the courage to actually make the action, you're like, I'm going to quit now. And you want to hang up the phone. And it takes all your courage not to. You see, I'm going to slow it down so you can see it, because this all happened in an instant. But I was right there ready to push the button to stop. But I said, I'm not going to sell out on me, because I looked at what I valued was having her know she was loved. And I started to imagine Mama, and I started to try to think of her not as my mother, not as the person who did what she did or let the stuff happen, but her as a person. And I tried to put myself in her shoes. And I started to remember Mama. She was raised in the cotton fields of Cairo, Georgia, where she picked cotton as a young girl. By the time she was 10 years old in a cotton field, she was molested. Her mother died when she was 17, and she moved 5 of her 7 siblings from Cairo, Georgia, to New York City. One day, walking home from work, she's raped. By the time she's 23, she has her first of 4 kids. I imagine Mama being proud and happy to have something of her own to love and to protect from life. I see her loving her first child more than the other 3 because she loved the father, Donald, so much. I see how one man hits her and the other man pimps her, and all 3 men blame her for not being a good woman. I see her fight for life turn into anger at life. I see how that anger is worn by her children like clothes. A black eye here and a broken rib there and a sprained arm here. And then when Aunt Lula and Aunt Marie died, something in her changed. Now, I see the powder, and I see the pills, and I see the alcohol. And I see how it all becomes just too much. And she floats away. And I see how she starts to see demons that aren't not there in visions that should not be. And I watch from a distance as her children all turn their back on her. One sells drugs, one goes in and out of jail for selling drugs, having babies. And the one she loved the most, the one that she was designed to keep her alive and keep hope going, dies from heroin laced with embalming fluid after she gives birth to the attic in the crib. And I watch how her children, her grandchildren, and her great-grandchildren all become a different version of her, including me. So I'm on that phone, and I see this, and I remember Mama, not the actions, but I remember her as a woman, as a girl, as a child. And the courage that had me pick up the phone in the first place turns into compassion. And what comes out of my mouth is, Mama, I am so sorry. You didn't take your love away from me. I took my love away from you. Will you forgive me? You know, Venus, you were not an easy child to raise. I'm like, you're right. She says, you don't understand. No, I don't understand. Like, she's like, you don't. I'm like, okay, I don't. I have no clue. And then she proceeds to tell me about all the things I did wrong. And I'm actually happy. I'm on the phone crying because I can hear that behind all of the blame and beyond all the accusations, I'm hearing what she's not saying. And she's saying the only language she has, which is, I love you. I love you, Mama. I love you too, Venus. Will you come to graduation? I want you there. Will Judy be there? Yes. Well, since she could take care of you when I could not, I guess I could tolerate that. And for the first time in 13 years, we slept under the same roof. So from the streets of Baltimore to the graduation stage of Stanford, it looked like it were the 4 degrees, but it wasn't. The accomplishment was hope. That just because you were born or you find yourself in a certain circumstance does not mean you have to stay there. And again, your situation does not have to be as extreme, but my whole life is dedicated to people knowing that anything is possible. Anything. And that's why I'm here tonight. Again, I value you. I thank you for participating with me, for granting me the space and the grace to tell my story. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please don't forget about the teleseminar. I would love to work with you directly. And I really just thank you and appreciate you for being so generous with me. Thank you for listening.